All right, guys, let's talk electrolytes. I don't know about you, but electrolytes have been the death of me through my keto and carnivore journey. So I'm going to talk about my story with electrolytes, who might need electrolytes, my personal pointers if you plan on taking electrolytes, and my personal experience, how I have found best I balance them. A little bit of a background of my experience with electrolytes. So I was keto for 3 years. I even went through a pregnancy trying to figure out this electrolyte issue. Electrolytes are highly pushed in the keto and carnivore community, as everyone knows. And if you ever ask for help in like keto groups or carnivore groups, their answer is always electrolytes, electrolytes, electrolytes. I feel like that is a slippery slope, and most of the time it doesn't even get anyone anywhere. So many people, they're taking electrolytes, but they're still having problems. For me personally, because I blamed everything on not enough electrolytes, I was never able to get to the bottom of my real problem. And I'll discuss that later whenever I give the pointers on what I think you should do if you do want to take them. Not every problem you encounter on the keto or carnivore diet or any diet that you are in ketosis is because of electrolytes off balance. It can be other things. One thing that I've read a lot in the carnivore and keto groups is people's leg cramps stopped after they stopped killing the electrolytes or stopped taking them altogether. So too much is just as bad as too little. Who might need electrolytes? If you are just starting out and getting in ketosis, you need them. You could wait it out and just suffer it, or you can take them. Doesn't mean you're gonna have to take them forever, and I'll get to that. And then the next group of people who will need them is people who fast. I personally think that you should get it from real food. If you watched one of my previous videos about fasting, you know I'm not an advocate for fasting, but if you're not putting anything in your body, you're not getting any nutrients or electrolytes from food, then it's probably a good idea to take electrolytes. Now, my personal experience pointers, if you want to take electrolytes. First pointer is, instead of thinking it's your electrolytes being off when you're feeling off, I want you to try to eat fat, specifically fat. I don't think anyone in the carnivore community has a hard time eating enough protein, but I think a lot of people can easily undereat fat. Just to back that up, there's only two sources of energy. It's either fat or carbs. If you're not eating carbs, you need to eat fat. You're starving your body of energy, and protein is not a good energy source. It's a builder. It is not an energy source. Our bodies do not like using protein for energy. In my experience, I will get a pounding heart because my blood sugar is not regulated because I'm not eating enough fat. And that could make someone else think that their electrolytes are low. That's why my first pointer will be, if you're feeling off, eat some fat. And if you're not in between meals and it's time for a meal, eat a meal with lots of fat. My second pointer is, don't go overboard. It's not necessary. Our bodies are so smart, they're capable of balancing them. If you want to take them, just take a little bit. You don't have to overdo it. When you take a little bit, it gives your body a chance to balance out on its own, which it's fully capable of doing, contrary to the misinformation out there about you have to have all these electrolytes 24/7. You don't. I'm gonna go over some symptoms that you can have with low electrolytes, which is leg cramps, headaches, fatigue, heart palpitations. Well, guess what, guys? You can get those same things from under eating. So that's why it's really important to try eating some fat. If it's time for a meal, eat a meal. If you're fasting and the electrolytes aren't helping, well, light bulb, you need to eat. And to reiterate kind of what I just said on one point about if the electrolytes aren't working, if you take electrolytes and your symptoms aren't getting better, don't keep taking them. Electrolytes work pretty quick if your problems are caused by electrolytes. Your headache will go away within 20-30 minutes. Same thing with other symptoms. So don't keep pounding them if they're not working. Try a different approach. And what I would suggest is eating. My third pointer is make sure you're in ketosis. If you're not in ketosis, you won't need them. A large misconception that I've even discovered myself, and I made a video about this previously, is assuming because I was eating 0 to little carb on the carnivore diet that I was in ketosis. And I wasn't. And guess what? At that time, I didn't need them and I didn't take them, but I didn't realize I wasn't in ketosis. So make sure you're even in ketosis before you even take them. You definitely don't need them if you're not. Lastly, I'm gonna share how I've learned to balance my electrolytes and my own personal experience. First thing I don't do, and I never have done, my dog in the back, is over salt my food. I actually don't even salt my food. I use salted butter, but I don't add all that salt to the food. It's not necessary. It's more about balance than quantity. If I'm eating a 4-ounce burger and I put tons of salt on that, I'm way over consuming salt than I am potassium. When your sodium's high, it knocks your potassium down. So I do not oversalt. That's the first thing that works for me. I am actually taking electrolytes right now. I've got the Keto chow drops because I'm just recently back into ketosis and I needed them. I paid extra for them to be here the next day. But I am not killing them. I take them in the morning, 1 dose, and I take them before I go to bed. That's it. Now, before I lift weights, I will only take like 1/8 teaspoon of salt in a cup of water. That's it. This could kind of go in the category of tips, but if you are going to take electrolytes, taking them in the morning and before you go to bed is an excellent time to take them because you are not putting anything in, and it is a good way to like ensure that you're getting hydrated. May not be necessary, you'll have to figure that on your own, but that is a good time to take them. I'm going to do a little recap here. So I have struggled with electrolytes my entire keto carnivore journey, even through a pregnancy. And the reason why I could never address my issues, which I never talked about in this video before, so now I'm going to talk about it, is I blamed everything on electrolytes, when in reality, I was not eating enough fat. And I still have those same symptoms now. I just eat fat all through the day now. So anytime I feel those same symptoms, I eat fat, they go away. And to piggyback off that, I suggest anytime you feel off to eat fat. And why I say fat is because carnivores typically don't have a problem eating enough protein. It is they have a problem eating enough fat. Not eating enough fat can dysregulate your blood sugar and kind of give you those same symptoms as electrolytes being off. And if you take them, don't overdo them. Give your body a chance to balance out on its own. That wraps up my experience with electrolytes. Just to stress, everything I mentioned, everything I talked about, all the advice I have given is solely what I've experienced. So if everyone has to find out what works for them, but I wanted to share my experience to maybe help someone else, because like I said before, electrolytes have been the death of me, and you can't find good information on electrolytes. So if you have enjoyed this video, it helped you, like it, share it, and maybe we can help someone.